Here at Job Jams, we love working with our hands. It's so rewarding to put in the hard work with our hands and to see the job done at the end of the day. So many workers use their hands every day. So today on Job Jams Countdown, we're counting down our 10 favorite hand tools. It's our 10 favorite hand tools.
Job Jams Countdown. Number 10.
Wrenches. They're hand tools that turn, grip, and tighten, and loosen things like nuts, bolts, and pipes. Wrenches come in all shapes and sizes. Some wrenches are huge and heavy. It takes a strong person with 2 arms to hold them. Other wrenches are small, smaller than a pencil. They're used to tighten and loosen small screws. Wrenches are used by all different types of workers. Plumbers often use them to tighten and loosen pipes that carry water and other liquids. A lot of people have wrenches at home for jobs around the house. You might have a wrench at your home right now.
Number 9.
Drills. They're hand tools that make tiny holes. Woodworkers often use drills to drill holes in wood. These holes can help workers put in screws and nails, so 2 pieces of wood can be attached together. Workers can also use drills on metal and plastic to put 2 different kinds of material together. Drills are used to build houses, tall buildings, even birdhouses. Some people even use drills at home to hang up pictures and shelves on their walls. They're very useful, but they can also be dangerous. It's important to keep your fingers away from the spinning drill bit so you don't get hurt.
Number 8.
Saws. They're sharp hand tools that cut things. Hand saws are saws that you can easily hold in one hand. Woodworkers use them to cut pieces of wood into smaller pieces. With the handsaw, you have a lot of control and a steady cut. For bigger pieces of wood, workers might use a chainsaw. The saw has tiny blades on a belt that spins and can cut things really fast. Chainsaws can be used in building or to cut down trees and branches for people who are working on their yard. Sometimes trees get so big or get rotten and they can fall over and hurt someone. That's when someone might use a chainsaw to cut down the tree or remove some branches.
Number 7.
Shovels. They're hand tools that dig. You've probably seen big digging trucks like excavators and backhoes. But what if you only need to dig a tiny little hole? That's when you might use a shovel. With the shovel, you use your hands to push the shovel into the ground, and you use your muscles to pull up the dirt. Shovels come in different shapes and lengths, but they all have a long handle and a blade at the end that digs into the ground. Most shovel blades are made of metal, so they don't break after being shoved into the ground so many times. Shovels can also be used to dig and scoop sand, trash, and farmers may even use them to dig up manure and fertilizer. They're very useful hand tools that can do a lot of work.
Number 6.
Pliers. They're hand tools that workers use to grip, cut, and bend objects. They can be used so many different ways. Every toolbox should have at least one set of pliers. They're sometimes used on their own to pull out old rusty nails and screws, or to bend wires and small pieces of metal. But sometimes pliers are used with other tools like hammers. The pliers can be used to hold the nail or screw into place, so it doesn't fall out of the hole. Some workers use pliers to build and fix houses. Some of them use them to fix cars. Your parents or neighbors might even have pliers in their home right now. They come in handy when something is stuck and you have to get it out. Pliers have so many uses. That's why they're one of our favorite hand tools.
Number 5.
Wire cutters, the hand tools electricians use to turn on the power. Have you ever turned on a light switch before? Did you know that every time you flip the switch, a tiny amount of electricity travels through the wires in your home to the light bulb to turn it on? Those wires were put in by an electrician. They're specially trained workers who know how to work with electricity. Whenever they are working with electricity, the most important rule is to always shut the power off so you don't get electrocuted and hurt. Once the power is off, they can cut the wires using wire cutters and install those wires behind walls so you never see them. They might need to cut the wires to make them the right size so they can get from the power outlet to the light bulb. You might be surprised by what else in your home runs on electricity. your TV, your computer, your oven, even your refrigerator. They all get electricity through wires that were cut and installed by an electrician.
Number 4.
Screwdrivers, a hand tool that turns and drives in screws. Screws are kind of like nails. Instead of being a straight line, the screws have ridges that wind around the screw. These ridges are called threading. It's how the screw can turn itself into things like walls and metal. The threads form a stronger bond that is more sturdy and hard to pull out. Screws have many different types of heads. Some are a straight line. These are called slotted screw heads. Other screw heads might have a cross on them. These are called Phillips heads. Screws may also have circle heads, stars, squares, or many others. But for each kind of head, you need to have a special screwdriver that can match them and turn the screws into place. You might even have a screwdriver at your house. A lot of people use them at home to hang things up and screw things into place.
Number 3.
Hammers, the hand tool that pounds. Hammers come in all shapes and sizes. There are small hammers that can be used to hammer in tiny nails, and huge hammers that can hammer in large nails and rods that can be used to hold up entire buildings. A hammer usually has a handle you can hold with your hand, and a heavy head on the other end that you use to hit a nail or rod into place. Hammers are very important for building homes and buildings. They're commonly used on wood, but you can also hammer nails into metal, plastic, and other material. Your parents might use a small hammer to hang up a picture on the wall, or a shelf that can hold books or other things. Hammers have been used for thousands of years, and we still use them today.
Number 2.
Utility knives, the sharp tool you always need to be careful with. The blade of the utility knife can be really sharp, so it's important not to play with utility knives. They're helpful tools when they're used properly. They can cut paper, fabric, plastic, and so many other things. Utility knives come in different sizes and colored handles. Some knives are used in woodworking. Others are used to cut cords and wrapping. A lot of workers who work in warehouses use utility knives to cut open boxes and plastic wrap. If you have ever received a box in the mail, your parents may have used a utility knife to cut open the box. There are so many different ways to use a utility knife, but again, you always have to be safe.
Number 1.
Paintbrush, the most important hand tool for painting walls. A fresh coat of paint can add a touch of color that can brighten any room. A paintbrush can make sure the paint is nice and smooth. There are so many different types of paintbrushes. Some are big, so they can cover a lot of space with every brushstroke. And other paintbrushes are small, so they can get into the tight spaces and corners. The paintbrushes are made of thousands of tiny bristles. Those bristles can be made out of different types of material. Some are nylon, some are plastic, and some are even made of animal hair. So that's our list of our 10 favorite hand tools. Thanks for watching, and keep dreaming big dreams.